Welcome to the Fire and Earth podcast with your hosts, Jason Mefford and Kathy Gruver. Fire and Earth, giving you the keys to unlock your limitless potential.
Welcome to another episode of the Fire and Earth podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason Mefford.
Are you sure? Okay.
I don't know. I was wondering.
You just sort of went away there for a second. I'm Kathy Gruver, and we have a very important question. Probably the most important question you're going to ask yourself, well, this week. How many times did you swear today?
I wasn't keeping track of it, but
Well, if it's only been with me so far, it's been 2 for you.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up to 7.
I know. Well, I know because I know when we started, because we usually kind of batch record episodes. Obviously, those of you that are watching us on video can tell because we're wearing the same clothes from week to week sometimes. But yeah, because we had both first gotten up and neither one of us had actually said any dirty words until we start recording.
Yeah, that was incorrect for me because I was talking about a board meeting and I probably dropped a couple F-bombs. So yeah, I'm up to maybe a dozen. God, a dozen. It's only 8:30. Boy. Okay.
But it's an interesting question, right? Because I think, obviously people that have been listening to us, they know that we use different language, right? And there's a lot of times people have some very, big views on that, right? Like, oh, you can't say certain words and still be professional at work or professional in whatever. And it's interesting because the older I've gotten and the less I give a fuck what other people think, the more I'm just saying what actually comes to my mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, yeah, to dig into a little bit more, what's your kind of take on it? Because I wanted to kind of go back to another area too, but I wanted to kind of get what you're thinking too.
I think the societal acceptance of swearing is different. Like it used to be, if we were sitting in a restaurant and you heard someone swear, it was like, especially fuck. Somebody drops a shit or a damn or, but I mean, now fuck is such vernacular.
Yep.
Everybody's saying it. I'm hearing young kids saying it. I'm having adults saying it. It's like if there isn't that societal like, oh my God, there's a kid 2 booths over. Why are you saying a bad word? And at the trapeze rig, I said something about I really fucked up that trick. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, because there was kids there, and I try not to swear around kids. And the mom goes, she's heard it. She's heard it from me. She's heard it from her dad. She hears it on TV. She's going to hear it at school. She hears it on the internet. The rule in our house is it's okay for you to hear it. It is not okay for you to say it. And I went, okay. And Chad Daniels, one of my favorite comedians, he was talking about swearing in his son. He goes, it's the first time he heard his son swear. He fell off his bike and his son went, fuck. And he goes, I understand why you said that, buddy. It's okay that you said that, but I need you to come up with 3 other ways to say what you just meant. And the kid said, it hurt. It sucked. I want to break my bike. And he went, perfect. So it's like,
I was expecting he was going to go, God damn it, shit. Or something.
No,
That's the
it
other
hurt,
words.
it sucked. I want to break my bike, which, and he went, okay, good job. I think it's important to understand why we swear and to kind of think about, are there other ways to say what we wanted to say? Because it used to be like, if you said the word fuck, you were uneducated and less than, and you weren't intelligent, you didn't seem professional. I have a PhD. I'm incredibly well read. I have a very high IQ. I still swear, and what was the study? They said that people who swear are, what was it? People who swear are more intelligent or something like that.
I'm not
more
sure.
Creative. I'll have to look that up.
But I was going to go there where you were at, because it used to be, right, that people would say, well, if you have to swear, then you just have a very low vocabulary and you have no other way to express yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't agree with that. Right.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that one of the I can't remember who it was, but one of our fellow professional speakers, I remember him saying, he's like, why would I exclude certain words from my vocabulary when I'm speaking that can have such a huge impact, right?
Right.
I mean, a properly placed fuck or bullshit can have a huge emotional impact on what it is that you're saying. Now, you know, like you said, I mean, up until, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't as accepted, right?
Uh-huh.
Unless you were from New York, what the fuck you doing? Hey, welcome to fucking New York,
Or Australia.
or,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there were certain places where it was just more prevalent, and it becomes a noun, a verb, an adjective, and an adverb, right?
Right.
But in other places now, and now in mainstream, I mean, you see it, you hear it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, if you look at the top TV shows, the top, you know, podcasts,
Yeah.
songs,
Book titles.
other stuff like that, book titles, everything. I mean, you see it, pervaded everywhere. I mean, I remember, it used to be on with music, especially it's like you had to use words like rock and other stuff like that when you wanted to say fuck, because you couldn't say that. Now it's like you can say whatever you want to in music as well.
And most radio stations will still have an adjusted version to that. I remember the first time I heard, because I do hip hop filled with swear words. And I remember the first time I heard one of the songs, like the actual lyrics, I literally stopped dancing and went, what? I mean, like, because I was used to hearing it on the radio where it either like the track just sort of put music over it, or they just completely eliminated the word, or they filled in the word with something else. There was two versions to the song. And there was times in dance class where I would stop and go, oh my God. Like
I didn't realize that was
drew me out of it. So I just looked up real quick. So 2020 Discover magazine, people who swear like a sailor are more honest and intelligent, studies show.
Interesting.
And there was also a really great study that said swearing reduces pain. So they would do the hand in ice water test and see how long you could hold it in and hold your hand in the ice water. And the people who swore throughout the experiment could keep their hand in the ice water and handle the pain so much longer. So this is why when we do stub our toe or hit our hand, or it's those kind of sounds that actually soothe us.
But it's interesting, because it allows us to expel right the emotion by actually using the word, which is interesting. I mean, it makes total sense versus you're holding it in, you're stuffing it down, you're doing all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting because like you bring up about the radio, because there's laws in the US that the FCC has for public airways, but I haven't listened to the regular radio in 15 years, right? I mean, I subscribe to Sirius. I mean, it was the same thing on network TV. You can't say certain things on network TV, but how many of us have cable, right? And HBO and whatever else, right? I mean, that's Netflix. I mean, these other things that are that are private services, right? I mean, nudity and swearing and drug use and smoking. I see that now as one of the warnings. I'm like, people are smoking and you have to warn them about that now?
Nudity, suicide, smoking, crass language, all these things. Well, and sometimes I'm still shocked. I still have this sort of like 80s mentality. So when I'm watching TV and somebody says dick or bitch, I'm just like, we're allowed to say that now? Because I go back to, what was it, George Carlin's The 7 Words You Can't Say on TV.
He got thrown in jail for that too.
I know. Well, that's what they would pull you off the air and put you in jail if you said shit on TV. Yeah. God forbid you showed a tit. I mean, but I used to love the show WKRP in Cincinnati. Loved that show.
Yeah.
And there was Johnny. He was always high. I can't remember who played him, but I love that character. I had a total crush on the actor and the character. And he got fired from his previous radio station for crass language on the air. And he wouldn't tell anybody what he said. He was so embarrassed. He didn't want to get in trouble again. It was booger. And when he started working for WKRP, it had come out that he said this word and everyone's like, what's the big deal? And it turned out he was in this, like, I can't remember the scenario. It was like back in the 70s, like this very either like Christian radio station or a very like conservative town. And they said, look, you get to say whatever you want, which of course wasn't true because back then you certainly couldn't drop the 7 words you can't say on TV. So the episode ended with him on the air and he puts his feet up on the desk and he puts his headset on and he goes, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with booger. And that was like so shocking to that time that he said booger on the air. I mean, for some reason that episode stands out in my head as just being so ridiculous that we would be edited in that way. And you go to other countries, when I went to speak in Australia, I try not to. There's two times I swear in my talks. In my stress talk, I say bitch once and shit once. In my communication talk, I say asshole once. That's all I leave it to. And I get to Australia, and it was early in my speaking career. And of course, Australia, the word cunt is just like, that's,
yeah,
everybody says that.
Australia
Look,
and the UK, it's
just a very common word. Now, in this country, that's still not an accepted one. But in those two countries, when we had Carl Smith on, he even said cunt on the air. He was very happy he could say that with us. So the last thing I did in Australia on my 11-day trip was my talk. I did all my sightseeing first. And I get to the thing, I'm talking to a bunch of psychologists, and I said, I typically give the disclaimer during my talk that I swear. But since I heard a 4-year-old say cunt yesterday, I guess I'm okay saying shit with you guys. And everybody started laughing. Know your audience. Also, if you're a speaker or if you're giving meetings, know your audience. You don't want to offend people, especially if it's just egregious for no good reason. The reason I say those 3 swear words is because they go with the story. If I don't say those words, it doesn't work. But I try to be aware of my audience. I'm not going to say that in front of a bunch of 7th graders.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, for the most part, because to me, a lot of it comes back to kind of the censorship side of it, right?
Yeah.
And I hate censorship. And I don't think anybody should be censored in anything that they say. Now, I can understand in some of the public spaces. Well, I mean, people are, I think, are free to say there's consequences for what they might say.
I'm just thinking more about hateful language or violent inciting language. I mean, we're in the midst of the January 6th hearings right now. So, maybe there's certain things we shouldn't say. But I get what you're saying. I'm torn on the.
Yeah, there's certain things that we shouldn't say. But having the dialogue, having respectful dialogue.
Yes.
Right, is different in how it is. And so, I actually see it as a good thing that we are more open about,
I agree,
and saying a lot of the things like this, because it always bothered me, like even with the books, right? And I can understand because it's in a public space, they've got to put the little symbols and things like that in some of the stuff, but I've just never, it's like, don't say gosh darn it. It's like, if you want to say God damn it, then say God damn it. Don't say gosh darn it.
Someone said that to me the other day. Gosh darn it, there's some errors in my message. And I was like, that's adorable. Or they say, frick, or shucks, or it's like, we know what you're saying.
Yeah, just say the real word if you want to say the real word. It's okay now. Right.
Because we know what you're saying. Yeah. Well, it's a respect thing. And, I think still some of the older generation, like there's guys that I'll be talking to at the castle or at the hypnotherapy conference. No, not there. Never mind. So guys at the castle are out in public where, you'll hear them swearing amongst themselves. But when I get into the circle of conversation, the language changes because they don't want to offend me as a woman, which I appreciate. And then once they recognize you can pretty much say whatever you want in front of me. Or I've had clients go, oh, that fucker. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm from Pittsburgh. You can say fucker. I mean, it's like, it's okay. My mom had a potty mouth. My dad, I very rarely, if ever, heard him swear.
Oh, really? I would have figured it would have been the other way around.
My dad swore telling jokes, but other than that, he really didn't swear. My mother was, she'd walk around the house. Oh, shit was her word. Or damn it. Oh, damn it. But it was like kind of cute when she swore. She never said fuck. I never heard her say fuck. But yeah, it was interesting. My dad later in life probably swore a little bit more as he got a little, but no, growing up, not my dad at all, which was interesting. Yeah. So anyway, so we should fuck off.
Yep. Time to fuck out of here, you little cunt. Oh, we can't say that. We can't. We're in America. We can't say that. No, but it always gets me whenever I watch like English humor, like Ricky Gervais or somebody.
Oh God.
Because again, that's a word that we don't normally hear here.
Yeah.
But over there, it's like calling somebody a little bitch or something like that. It's nothing to the extent that people typically have here, which again I think is be aware of kind of where you're at.
Yeah.
The people that are around you, but also, just be yourself. You don't have to censor yourself necessarily like we used to. And people are either going to like you or not like you. And,
right.
it's what it is.
And it's about respecting other people too. I mean, I tend to say, oh, Jesus Christ, Jesus H. Christ. I tend to say that a lot, which drove my mother crazy because I was raised Catholic and that in my house was not okay. So I would get in trouble if I said that. And I was around, and I don't think about it now. To me, it's just another word. I'm not Christian. I respect that being, but I still say, oh, Jesus Christ. And I said that around somebody and they said, you know what, I'm actually Christian and I would prefer if you didn't say that around me. And I went, oh my God, oh my God. Oh goodness, motherfucker. No, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll try to be aware of that. It just kind of flies out of my mouth without knowing it. So it's like, if somebody makes a request of you that is, to be respectful, then try to honor that request. I don't want to offend anybody. And I'm wondering how many emails we're going to get about this episode.
I don't know. I don't know.
Disclaimer, we say bad words. All right.
Yeah, we say bad words, and everybody who's listening, you say bad words too.
Probably if they got this far in the episode, they're probably right there with us.
I don't know anybody who doesn't say some bad words. Yeah.
I do.
Do you?
Yep. I have clients that a swear word has never escaped their lips. Huh. I mean, I can't say never, but no, they won't swear.
Huh.
It's a religious thing.
Maybe I guess there's a few of them that are still out there.
There's 12 left.
Yeah, I bet if they hit their hand with a hammer, I don't know. Anyway.
I'm Kathy Gruver. I can be reached at kathygruver.com.
And I'm Jason Mefford. I can be reached at jasonmefford.com. So have a great week, everybody. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Fire Nerd Podcast. See ya.